Federal government to stop funding hotel rooms for asylum seekers, IRCC says. The federal government has announced that it will stop funding hotel rooms for asylum seekers by the end of September 2025, marking the end of a temporary program that has housed thousands since 2018. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. The Canadian government has confirmed that its long-standing hotel program for asylum seekers will officially close on September 30, 2025. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada explained that the temporary accommodation strategy, which has been in place for years, was never intended as a permanent measure. Currently, 485 asylum seekers remain housed in hotels across Ontario and Quebec, but they will soon be required to transition into longer-term housing. Since 2020, Ottawa has allocated approximately $1.1 billion to hotel-based housing, reflecting both the scale of migration surges and the pressure on existing settlement infrastructure. Temporary shelter was always a stopgap. Hotel housing for asylum seekers dates back to at least 2018, when it was introduced as a rapid response to record migration numbers. Federal officials consistently described the program as a temporary solution, a bridge, to help cities manage unprecedented demand. The cancellation underscores Ottawa's intent to shift responsibility to provinces and municipalities. While IRCC has pledged on-site support for current residents, many observers worry that simply ending the program risks forcing asylum seekers into unstable, unsafe, or overcrowded conditions. Pressure on cities and municipal shelters. Municipalities, already dealing with homelessness crises, are bracing for more strain. Adoma Patterson, Director of Community Investments at United Way Greater Toronto, explained that existing shelters remain full almost year-round. Building shelters or affordable housing is not a rapid process, she noted. With construction timelines stretching years, asylum seekers may find themselves competing for space in already overwhelmed systems. Health and safety concerns without secure housing. Experts warn that without stable housing, asylum seekers face heightened risks. Overcrowded or unsafe living conditions can expose individuals to health hazards, reduce access to basic services, and increase vulnerability to exploitation. Housing, she argued, is not just about shelter but about safeguarding human dignity and ensuring pathways for newcomers to integrate into Canadian society. Without proactive solutions, the end of hotel funding could exacerbate already visible humanitarian challenges in urban centers. Transition of claimants and declining volumes. According to IRCC, more than 15,000 asylum claimants previously housed in hotels have since transitioned to independent living arrangements. The department insists that, despite ongoing high levels of migration, overall asylum volumes are nearly 40% lower than in 2024. IRCC has promised individualized assistance for the 485 people still in hotels, including help locating affordable rentals and connecting with local agencies. The federal government also stated it would continue working with provinces and municipalities to develop long-term housing strategies, though the pace of progress remains uncertain. Scrapped overhaul of the asylum system. The housing announcement coincides with another setback in Canada's asylum framework. A $68 million initiative intended to modernize the outdated asylum system heavily reliant on paper files was cancelled in 2024. Adding to the uncertainty, the proposed Strong Borders Act includes controversial changes to the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. Among them is a requirement that asylum seekers must file their claims within 1 year of entry, a move critics argue could disadvantage vulnerable individuals still navigating trauma or accessing legal resources. Financial burdens shifting to provinces and cities. Economists are questioning the broader fiscal implications of Ottawa's decision. Carleton University professor Christopher Warswick pointed out that housing asylum seekers is not just a moral obligation but also a legal one under international agreements. Grassroots and faith-based groups feeling strain. As governments debate funding responsibilities, community organizations continue to fill the gaps. In 2023, during a standoff between Toronto and Ottawa over asylum housing costs, hundreds of claimants were left to sleep on sidewalks and in parks. Churches, nonprofits, and volunteer networks stepped up to provide emergency shelter and food. One notable example is Miracle Arena for All Nations, a church in Vaughan, Ontario. Minister Isaac Apong shared that his congregation has supported over 500 asylum seekers since June 2023, offering meals and beds on church property. Yet he warned that the end of the hotel program could trigger a repeat of the 2023 crisis, with people again forced onto the streets. The human toll of insufficient planning. Apong's account highlights the unsustainability of relying on grassroots networks for large-scale humanitarian support. His church, like many others, operates without government funding, relying solely on volunteers and donations. It's like pulling people into a lifeboat when they're drowning, he said, but eventually you need to find them a safe harbor. What lies ahead for asylum seekers in Canada? The countdown to the hotel program's closure marks a pivotal moment for Canada's asylum system. While the federal government insists it will assist those still in temporary housing, advocates, economists, and community leaders are united in their concern that the transition will be anything but smooth. As Ottawa winds down hotel funding, advocates warn that without strong housing strategies in place, asylum seekers could face renewed risks of homelessness and hardship in Canada's already strained housing market. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.